has served in various portfolios in the executive, but primarily he's been in the legislature. Alhaji Inusah Fuseni, you're welcome to Face to Face.
Thank you, Zonda.
You're a member of parliament for Tamale Central, outgoing. You
Yes.
didn't lose your primaries, nothing. You've been minister for, which ministries have you served in?
Well, I started my executive position with Deputy Minister of Energy and President Atamils. Then moved on to Cabinet Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and then to Minister for Roads and Highways.
Roads and Highways before, okay. And then you
I'm privileged.
You have. I went to your constituency. I'm just returning from Tamale Central.
How did you find it?
It's beautiful. It's,
I'm sure you drove on some of the roads I did.
Yeah, okay. I don't know whether you did them, but I saw roads. And what I noticed though is that a lot of the motorbike riders were observing the discipline or the
traffic regulations.
The traffic regulations. I don't know why it's working there and it's not working in Accra.
It's working there because most of us are using motorbikes, and so you need to order the activities of motorbike riders, and say that they don't get involved in accidents. So it's been forced on them by the fact that many more people are using, so you have to regulate its use.
Okay, but tell me how widespread the usage of motorbike. Is it that in a household, instead of getting up and going to pick a trotro, you have to board a motorbike? How does it work typically in Tamale?
Motorbikes in Tamale and in the northern region particularly, motorbikes are the most preferred choice of means by up and growing young men and women who initially it was the bicycle, but now they've outgrown the bicycle, and so it's now a motorbike. And so you will see that any person who counts of age, 18, 19, 20, 2,500, 5,000 Ghana cedis can buy a motorbike. And so most young men and students prefer a motorbike that can commute to school and back. And nurses, teachers, everybody wants a motorbike.
So it's not for commercial purposes necessarily, it's for private use?
No, I don't think that even in Tamale, commercial use of motorbikes is profitable because everybody has one.
So if I wanted to move between one town in Tamale Central to another town, what is the mode of transport?
Motorbike.
Okay, so if I were a visitor to the town, what do I do?
You just ask somebody who's riding alone to give you a lift.
Oh, how about taxis and trotros and all those things?
So taxis and trotros just ply the main routes, like Tamale Nyohane, Tamale Lemashego, Tamale Dohanayele, that is the hospital area, Tamale Agric or Savolego or beyond. And even with that, they compete with motorbikes.
I see. But now you have tricycles as well, the ones they call yellow.
Yellow. Yellow is now basically for people in the environs who want to move from one community to the other, who don't want to use a taxi because it's comparatively expensive. And they go for yellow. And then, so yellow is now in the same market with taxis.
But there are people who say that it's causing chaos, accidents are happening, the motorbikes mixing with the yellow.
Because yellow is a tricycle. It's supposed to operate just like the taxi, which has 4 tires. Now, but it's operating more like a motorcycle. And so when sometimes they disobey traffic regulations, they cut corners and all those things, and so they get themselves involved in accidents.
I see.
And they are not that fast. So he's in front of a car, he's not fast, the car feels, the car driver feels exasperated, and so these are the reasons why they get involved in accidents.
So that's the current state of Tamale. Let's talk about the Tamale you were born into, that you grew up. Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I was born right in Tamale, just by the post office. You know the post office?
I saw it.
Yes, you saw the post office. On the right-hand side of the post office, if you go to where they post the letters and turn your back to the where they used to put in the letters, count 5 houses on your left. You are in my house.
So how many were you? Tell us about your family.
Well, my father had 4 wives.
4, okay.
At the time I was born, up to the time I was in middle school, my father had 3 wives. When I went to middle school, he married his 4th wife. And so my father had 4 wives. I was the 5th born of my father from his 3rd wife.
3rd wife, okay. Okay, 5th born. How many siblings are you in total?
But my father had 12 children.
Among 4 women?
Yes, 12. So the first woman did not bring forth. The second woman brought forth about 8 or 7, myself, and the last one brought forth 3.
I see. And what happened to you? Did you all go to school? Were you the only
Yes,
one?
I was the first. I and my senior brother, the one I was immediately following, were the first in our family to go to school.
Okay.
Yes, when my father principally was a butcher and a farmer aside. And
So he sold meat in the market?
In the market. That time the butcher's shop was around where we now have the bar stop. Okay, the central bar stop. That was where the butchers, just by the STC.
Mayanka?
Not Mayanka. Mayanka was at Sakasaka.
Okay.
Okay. Mayanka was at Sakasaka. That is, Mayanka is where they slaughter.
Okay. So he was selling, not slaughtering.
Not slaughtering.
Okay.
So he, the story is that one day he was in the market, and we were there, myself and my senior brother milling around him, cleaning leaves for him to sell his meat, when somebody entered and asked why we were in the market. And then he said, yes, we're helping him to sell meat. Then that person advised that he should send us to school. That's the story that I have been told. And then my father took the advice, and the next day decided to send us to school. His first attempt was at Zeguli Primary School. Again, the story is that at the time that they took us to Zeguli Primary School, it was a third term. But of course, my father was not educated. For him, sending his child to school was sending his child to school.
Doesn't matter what time.
And at that time, we were not born with birth certificates, so they couldn't determine our ages, relative ages. So we were asked to put our hands across our head to touch our ears. Mine could not reach.
So you were younger than 6?
My senior brother one reached. And the head teacher said it was a third term, and so my father should send us back home and wait for...
How did you do that? Show me. What were you supposed to do?
We were supposed to do this.
To hold your ear?
To touch your ear.
Okay, so if you fail to touch, it means what?
Then you are not 6 years.
Oh, I see. That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
You are not 6
So
years.
that's how your age was determined?
At that time.
So your age as in number of years was not known, neither was your month and date?
No. Well, I was not born... I didn't see a birth certificate when I was born.
How did you come by a birthday? Do you celebrate birthdays?
No, we don't celebrate.
Currently.
I don't celebrate birthdays, but so I had to decide on a birthday for myself.
Wow.
Yes, you see, these are the stories of...
That's my story too.
Yeah, I had to determine a birthday for myself.
Yeah,
yes,
it's the same one.
And then when I confronted, I was born in the hospital.
Okay. Oh, and they still didn't get the...
They believe that if bad people knew the date you were born, you would be bewitched.
I see.
And so they made it a secret that I shouldn't know the date I was born, and nobody should know.
I see.
I understand that they destroyed the documents. The documents evidencing my birth.
Oh, I see. I was born in a house, but...
I was born in a hospital, by Tamale, just by Queen Elizabeth. That was the district hospital there.
I see.
Yes.
When you were growing up, how was Tamale like?
Tamale was good. I mean, you can see the climate change conditions in Tamale. Just by the post office. We had a well that was producing water to feed almost the whole of Tamale. Anytime the water was not flowing through the pipes. We had flowers around the post office. We have flowers around the hospital. You are going to my house now, there's a road. That road, part of it was used for the cultivation of corn, maize, and other vegetables. I mean, my father used to farm just after the residency, the Russia bungalow, and was producing yam. Some of the produce were even sent to Kumasi for sale. Can you imagine? Now they are all houses.
Oh.
And there are no flowers.
Everything is gone.
It's gone. If we were going to school, I attended. So when they sent me to Zegbili, and the head teacher advised that they should send us back home and return in the new academic year, my father could not understand. And he had duted my senior brother to send us to school. So when my senior brother reported, he said no. I mean, he must just find a school to go. Fortunately, my senior brother had a friend who was a head teacher at Chuku Primary School. So in the evening, my senior brother was a man of means. I mean, he had a shop, and every evening.
He's older.
Yeah, my senior brother, not the one I'm.
Not the one you went to the school.
Father's firstborn.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The father's firstborn. Mm-hmm. So in the evening, his friends came around to sit at his shop, and he said that my father had said he should send us to school, and Zegbili had refused to accept us. Then the head teacher said, well, Chogo was far. I mean, we are just by the post office. And Chogo Primary School, Chogo Hilltop, is far. Yeah, so, but if he was minded to send us to school and also organize a means of transport for us, he will take us. So that's how.
That's how you started. So you went to Chogu. So that's where you started from.
I started from Chogu Primary School, and then from Chogu I went to St. Joseph's. And from St. Joseph's I went to Nalerigu Secondary School.
Why do you leave Tamale to Nalerigu Secondary School?
Yes, that's a good question.
Because you had what?
I had friends.
Oh.
I had a friend, Tanko Isahaku, whose senior sister married from the Nairis Palace.
Okay.
And then the husband was working at Nestle. And so when the sister married, Tanko Isahaku was my friend when we were in Chogu Primary School. In fact, we followed each other to St. Joseph's Middle School.
Which year was this when you went to secondary school?
1974.
74. The last time I moved from Tamale to Nalerigu was about 3 or so years ago.
Yeah.
I went through Gushao to Nalerigu, through Bintiri. The road was not tarred. It's a bad road.
But when I was Minister for Roads and Highways, we did the road from Wale Wale. We had continued, actually.
No, I'm talking about Nalerigu through Gushao to Tamale.
Yes, we had awarded the Nalerigu through Gushao to Tamale.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just trying to look at since 74 when you're using that show. I'm sure it was a footpath.
But
I'm sure it was a footpath then, and now it is still the same thing.
No, it was not a footpath. I mean, but the hills were steeper. Some of the vehicles could not climb the hills. So anytime you got to some of the hills, you had to alight from the vehicle and allow the vehicle to climb, and then you will go back and board the vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, but they were not that steeper. I mean, they were not that bad. In areas where we had steep hills, I think by strategy of the then Roads Ministry, they made sure that they tarred that area of the slope so that the vehicles could go up.
Okay,
yes,
I see.
Yes.
But I'm just saying that since 74, what you're discussing now hasn't changed much.
The road?
Yes.
The road, but the landscape has changed.
Has changed.
Yes, because you had a lot of trees then. I mean, it was nice, even though it was rural. I mean, it was nice.
So from Nalerigu Secondary School, you went where?
Baga Training College.
Okay,
I trained as a teacher.
To become a teacher?
Yes.
Was it a decision you made, or you were instructed to go to training college?
Well, it's a combination of both.
Okay, and you told
I had chosen Laura Secondary School for this form. What sent me to Laura, I don't know. And my father said, I mean, over his dead body.
You're not going to Laura?
What? Laura for what? Over his dead, I mean, he didn't even know where Laura was. Laura was then part of the Upper East region.
Would be very far from
Very
you.
far.
Even now, the road to Laura from Tamale
is to Laura Secondary School. So my father will have none of it. And I also said I wanted to go to this form. Then when I was not going, there was a teacher by the house who said, look, why don't you just go to it, post-secondary teacher training college? You can always go to university or even to the sixth form after but you will have that qualification. So I see that I agreed to the advice. I worked on it. I went to buy the form for Boga Training College on the day of the interview. Fortunately, there was a Catholic father, Father Mike, who was then at Tamale Secondary School as their chaplain. And so when I filled the form, I sent it to Father Mike, and he endorsed, and I brought it back. My results were good. So they had accepted the forms, and then they put me through the interview. I went for the interview, and I was given indication that I would take it. So I was part of the first batch
of students.
To be admitted.
So you went for 3 years, came out as a teacher?
As a teacher, and taught at Nyampala Middle School. And then after Nyampala Middle School, I went to teach at Vitim.
Vitim Senior High?
Junior Secondary School. It was a junior secondary school.
Okay.
Yes.
How many years did you teach for?
I taught for 5 years.
Only?
Only.
And then you left to where?
I went outside the country. I went on the Ghana-Libya teachers thing. I mean, when...
Exchange program,
sort of. So, and taught for 3 years there.
In Tripoli?
No, in Nalut.
Okay.
Yes, and just came back and went to the university. When I came back, I went back to teach. Okay, and that entitled me to scholarship. I mean, steady leave with pay. And then I came to Legon.
So we came to Legon to read LLB straight?
Straight away. I came to Legon. I was given the combination of law, political science, sociology. Yes.
And so you did 4 years?
No. I did 3 years.
And then you moved to...
I did 4 years, but not as steady.
Why did you decide to go to law school, though?
No, I did 4 years, but not because of study. I did 4 years because in the year I went to Legon, the universities were closed down for 1 full year. They had gone on demonstration. Students had gone on demonstration. Kosibucho was the finance minister.
Okay.
And the universities were locked down for 1 good year. And so, yeah, so I did 4 years, but actually not as a course of study.
As a teacher, why did you decide to go to law school? Have you always wanted to be a lawyer or?
Well, I mean, I think my story is a combination of, it's just been, just like my going to school, it's just been coincidence. Okay. I had met this lady when I was studying to go to university. And I had tried the first year, I couldn't get into the university. Then I came to Accra and I chanced on the lady, and we were at Workers' College here. At that time it was Workers' College, not Accra. What university? What did they call it?
Yeah, Accra Technical.
No, not Accra Technical. Accra.
Workers' College is not Hall.
No. Workers' College is now
City Campus. Okay. University of Ghana City Campus. Okay.
That time it was called Workers' College. So when we were there studying, I couldn't get through. So the following year I came to Accra and I found her and she told me she was reading law. And I said, oh, if we are reading law, then it means I can read law.
And then you went to read law?
Yep.
Who is this woman?
I don't know. She also did very well. In fact, she was given law for first year, but she couldn't make it to the second year. At our time, you were given law in first year and then you had to justify your inclusion.
Okay.
So when I went to the faculty, she was not in the faculty. She had left the faculty because she couldn't make it to the...
So you never met again?
No, we never met again. We met on campus of the University of Ghana when she was doing another course.
Okay, but not as a lawyer. So she never became a lawyer?
No, so I don't know of now.
Which year were you called to the bar?
2000, exactly.
Oh, so this is your 20th year?
Yeah, at the bar.
Wow, congratulations.
I should be at my mates are at the High Court.
Oh yeah, so if you're a judge, you would be at the High Court?
At the High Court, or above the High Court, yes.
And you can be Attorney General?
Yes, I can.
You can be Attorney General?
Yes, I can.
You can be president if you want because you're over 40 years old.
Well, you are looking at the possibilities.
I see. Has law been, which one is more fun, teaching or law?
Law is more fun. Law is more, it opens your eyes to many things. Many things we take for granted. Many things we take. Even while at the Faculty of Law, I realized that even people who have not gone to law school or studied law of any kind speak law. Now my father had a plot of land in Tamale, and when we were growing up, one day we went to him and said, look, he should sell his plot of land because 12 children, you have a plot of land. It's not in the middle of Tamale. It's just one plot. If you sell it and just move out of the team, you'll be able to buy acres of land. And then the children can have access to a lot of land to build. My father said, yes, but we don't have capacity to tell you. You can't, like he said in local language, you can't tell me
what to
do with my plot, because when I was buying the plot, you were not there. I bought it with my money. So I should decide what to do with the plot. It is only when I die that you can decide what to do with the plot. But so far as I'm living, you can't
run his family for him.
That was a law course I took in equity and trust.
Is your father alive?
He's dead long time. He died before. He died in my third year in the university.
Was he educated?
No.
Okay, so he never saw you read law.
He saw me enter the university, but not read law.
I see. I'm asking you this question because, from an ignorant point of view, there are many Muslims who think that being a lawyer...
the Muslims, even when I was doing law, they were saying that, but...
my parents think if I went to read law, I'll become a sinner. It's haram.
No. There's an ayah of a verse in the Quran which says, Alaysa Allah bi akamil hakimin. Don't you know God is the judge of judges? What does it mean? You must be a lawyer before you be a judge.
So it means that that verse accepts that there are human judges, and then there's an overall judge somewhere. This is Face to Face on City TV. If you are a constituent of Tamale Central, what's your judgment of your MP? We are celebrating his life in Parliament. When we come back, we will talk about his work in Parliament and, of course, ask what's next after Parliament. Don't worry.
Hi, my name is Salamatu. Yes, these are both me. You see, before free SHS, my life could have taken two very different paths. The SHS path depended on how much money my parents had, what sacrifices they were willing to make, and whether they would send me or my little brother Issa to SHS. The other part is what would have become of me if there was no free SHS. But today, thanks to free SHS, my future is bright and promising.
Congratulations, you have an A. He's a boy.
Instead of depending on others, I will stand on my own feet and help my family. Free SHS is where my dreams for a better future and the dreams of thousands of young girls become a reality. Don't let NDC take it away from us. Vote for NPP and give all Ghanaian girls a chance for a better future.
Introducing new Sunlight 2-in-1. It gives you burst after burst after burst of long-lasting freshness. New Sunlight 2-in-1 for burst after burst of long-lasting freshness.
You're welcome back to Face on City TV. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. My guest is Alhaji Inusah Fuseni. He was a teacher, he's a lawyer, now he's a member of parliament, and he's leaving. How did you end up coming to parliament? When did you decide that, okay, let me do politics and let me go into parliament?
Well, so about politics, I started quite early.
From campus?
No, before campus.
Okay.
I started politics during the time of Rawlings, when he staged his military coup.
You were young then?
I was younger. I had just left training college, and at that time, directive came through that we should establish zonal people's shops so that essential commodities could be distributed through the people's shops, so that people in the community could go and access the essential commodities. We used to call them essential commodities, mackerel, sugar and others from those shops. I had just completed training college, but the people of my area had tremendous confidence in me, and so they elected me as the secretary to the people's shop. Okay. That's how.
So you have been in the PND system from those
Yes,
times.
I started that way, and then when I went to Legon, my third year in Legon, I became the 10 secretary, president. Okay. That is a tertiary educational institution network of NDC. Yes, I became their president. Did
you do NOOCs?
No, I didn't do NOOCs.
Okay.
Yes, I did Northern Students Union. I also became their coordinating secretary. At the time I was staying president, I was also the coordinating secretary of Northern Students Union, INSU. And then when I left Legon and went to law school, I continued with my political activity. After law school, the party formed committee. The committees, Rawlings had lost, Kufuor had come in. The party formed committees, and they put me as a secretary to the legal committee of the party. And so I went around the country defending people who had fallen foul of the law by reason of the 2000 elections that we had. I defended a lot of people. And so in 2006, I did it up to 2004, 2006. Senewayo had come in 2000 and beginning of 2004 when they created the new constituencies. Kufuor had created about 25 or so constituencies.
Okay. And you benefited in Tamale?
No, I did not benefit at that time.
Not you, Tamale constituencies?
Yes. So Tamale Central constituencies were two. They were just Tamale, Chogo constituency and Gupegu Sabodira. And so he created Tamale Central out of
the two.
Now,
so then,
when that was created, I was in court with Kokoba, challenging the authority of the president to create constituencies. We thought that was gerrymandering. Okay. But even though we were in court, in party circles where we knew that they would stand, so I was told to prepare myself to go and contest Tamale Central. So when they opened nominations, I went and filed my nomination to contest primaries.
Which year was this?
That was in the year 2004.
Okay.
And so while we were there preparing, running around for the contest, Senewayo had crossed over from the
NDC to MPP.
MPP to NDC.
Okay, MPP to NDC, yes.
Yes, and then so
he was NPP MP.
He was MPP. I think he was vice chairman of the MPP, one of the chairmen. You know, they have many chairmen.
Okay, so as a regional vice chair.
No, national. Yes, so, and he resigned from the MPP
and joined NDC.
And so when he joined the very day we organized his welcome at the party headquarters, in the evening I got a call from one Dr. Yahuza Gomda who said that it was important for us to reward
his visit with a seat.
A seat. And I asked him why he was calling me, because they had known that I was showing interest in it. Well, obviously, it appears to be that it was a big conspiracy within the party that they should reward Siriwayo with that seat.
And spite the MPP.
In spite, oh no, I don't know.
I'm saying and spite the MPP.
What they told me then was that they wanted to reward him with a seat, Tamale Central seat. So, I mean, I had said that I wouldn't step down for Siriwayo because I thought that I had also earned my right to contest for the seat, until the late Professor Mills called me a day to the elections, primaries. And
so you were going head to head with him?
Yeah. I was not going head to head. I was clearly ahead of him. Because
But he was in the contest?
He was in the contest. We were three. Siniwayo, Kunkundana, and myself. We were three. But I was clearly ahead of Siniwayo. I don't know if Kunkundana was clearly ahead.
So it was a new constituency?
It was a new constituency.
So, okay.
So Professor Mills then called me the day before the primaries and impressed upon me to step down for Siniwayo. Now I asked him two basic questions. What party were we building if we were not rewarding loyalty and commitment? And why wouldn't Siniwayo also match his time in the NDC? He only told me that, oh, Inusah, you are younger, you shouldn't be the person to end the political career of Siniwayo, and look up to me. If we win elections, we will definitely be recognized. So I said, fine. I mean, it's good to be patient. It's good to listen. I mean,
so you listened and you withdrew?
I listened and I withdrew. I withdrew. 2 or 3 minutes after he told me that, he called back to say that I shouldn't even go to Tamale.
Wow.
Apparently, he had received signal from Tamale that if I went to Tamale, I'll be compelled to contest the elections. So he said I shouldn't even go to Tamale. So I didn't go to Tamale.
So you withdrew from Accra?
I withdrew from Accra, and I didn't just go to Tamale, and that was all.
So why you saying he became MP?
MP. Then 1.5 years in his reign, he decided to cross back to the MPP.
Someone you had rewarded with a seat?
Yes.
He left you in the cold?
In the cold 1.5 years after.
So why you saying he won and became the first MP for that constituency?
For the Tamale Central constituency.
And what happened next? And
so he resigned 1.5 years into his reign.
He quit?
He went back to the MPP.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Did he?
It was his decision in the first place to join NDC. It was his decision to return to the MPP. So
did he literally cross the carpet
in Parliament?
Where were you that day he did
I was in court. I was defending NDC guys in court.
And
my phones were off. Then after the case, I came out of court and put on my phone, and I was literally bombarded with calls from my colleagues in Parliament. Haruna Idrisu was the first person to call me and said, my brother, you have to prepare to go to Tamale and contest the elections. I said, why? He said, you know why? I just crossed carpet. Backben called me. Many people were calling. Tamale people were calling. So, I mean, that I couldn't continue with the cases I was doing that day because I was overcome with emotion. And then, you know, if somebody crosses carpet, Electoral Commission has a number of days to conduct the elections. So we just went into action. I went to see President Rollins. He said, well, go and contest. I mean, we will support you. And I went to see Mrs. Rollins. She gave me 2 vehicles.
Wow.
Go and contest and pins. I want to call them what?
La Paix,
NDC pins. And I went to see Professor Mills and said, look, I'm coming to support you. Go. But NDC had to organize primaries. At this time, 8 people came to contest.
8?
7 more, including me, 8.
Did it include the man who contested with you and Wayoseni?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Included Mutala.
This current one who wants to replace you?
Yes.
He has always been on the sidelines.
Yes. He contested me twice.
Wow.
Yes.
And then you won?
I won.
So you won the primaries and you won the main election?
Main election.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Were you in touch with Wayeseni after that? Did you speak?
Well, Wayeseni incidentally is my in-law. Married my sister, my cousin.
So did you speak to him about why he did what he did?
Well, I couldn't because he's older than me.
Oh, he's a senior.
And he's my in-law.
Oh, so you
I
have
couldn't
to...
go and, first of all, he's older and my in-law. How could you, that would be impunity.
Do you remember the percentage by which you won the first elections?
The first election, MPP did not contest. They rallied behind Senewayo. So Senewayo came in as independent.
Oh, really? That's
Yes.
what he did?
Yes. He withdrew from the election. He crossed carpet to the MPP. He couldn't contest on the ticket of MPP. He contested as an independent with the orange as a symbol. And MPP did not fill the candidate.
They
But I
supported
beat
him?
They supported him.
You beat him nicely?
Mercilessly.
You beat your own in-law?
Yeah, well, he had decided, when he said he was not going, when he said he was going,
You left him to go.
go.
But now that he's coming as an opponent,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So when you entered parliament, how was it feel like?
Well, it was good. I mean, I was...
So you coming in as a by-election MP?
MP in 2006. I was sworn in on...
That was the year I was
second-
finishing secondary school.
second May or so, I was sworn in. But because I was already active on the political scene,
You knew your way around.
I mean, I didn't go to the back bench.
Okay.
I just came and took Senewayo's seat, which was front bench. Apart from the Committee on Finance, which he was on, which E.T. Mensah took away from me.
He was a whip. E.T. Mensah was a whip.
Yes. All other committees, they left me on. And they added me the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee.
Which you are serving on up to now.
Up to now. And then they made me deputy ranking to the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary. So yes, I just came to Parliament in leadership position.
So you knew your way
I
around.
knew my way around and I started debating on the floor of the House. I mean, I debated.
Lawyer Fuseni.
Yes, and you know, the first time I got up, I was just, instead of Mr. Speaker, I was saying my Lord. They said, oh, don't worry, because we'll make the transition. And Nana Akufo-Addo was the Foreign Affairs Minister. I remember I debated him so many times on the floor of the House.
I see.
Yes,
I
yes,
see.
yes, yes.
What's the biggest thing you think you've done in Parliament since 2006 when you came?
The biggest thing, in my view, that I have done in Parliament, the biggest, was when Ghana was confronted with the marital rape law. That President Kufuor, Parliament had passed the law, but President Kufuor refused to assent to the bill.
What was the law called? The bill?
We christened it marital rape.
Marital rape, okay.
Yes, I mean, it was that if you had sex with your wife without her consent, it was rape. And many people rose up in arms against that law.
So marital rape.
Yes.
So it was a bill that came to the House?
Rape within a marriage setting.
Okay. So it was going to be a law.
It was going to be a law. We call it marital rape. I mean, many people call it marital
so
rape.
government sponsored it to the House?
Yes.
It went through?
It went through. Parliament had passed it.
You were opposed as minority?
No, President Kufuor, I mean, I wasn't opposed. I don't know, I mean, but we were not opposed, except that individually we had oppositions. Okay?
So what was your position?
Even that is, I'm not even talking about our position now.
Okay, okay.
President Kufuor had refused to assent and sent it to the Council of State, and Council of State brought it back with his comments. And the gender committee chairperson, they were meeting again. Degburu was in Parliament.
John Akparibo
Degburu was in Parliament. He was part of the committee, and many people were in Parliament. And then they were discussing that particular provision. And I was just passing by with my bag and books. And then they said, oh, lawyer, this provision, how do you, as if, you know what we say in Islam, as if like a revelation. I just said, but why don't you formulate it this way? And I tell you, Sanda, that is my formulation, that is in the law. So
then he went back and he got access.
When he went back, President Kufuor, it was only Ndebugri who saw the mischief. Who saw that I hadn't done anything substantial to the provision when it was, I mean, in the form it was when it was rejected. And I just played with the words.
Ndebugri was PNC MP at the time.
At that time.
But he was playing on the side of the MPP. Or?
Yes. And he said, oh, yes, it's the same thing, but I was just playing with the words. And it went through.
What significantly did you do differently? Or
I reorganized the words and created some vagueness in the provision
for the judges to decide. So as of now, there's that law.
There's that law
in our books.
The books.
And you believe
I
that?
say that the second thing was when they were discussing moving secondary senior high school education to 4 years, when it was 3 years. The NDC position was that it should be 3 years. MPP was that it should be 4 years. I said, look, if you put 4 years in concrete provision, you will, even you want 3 years, you will come back to Parliament. And I debated J.H. Mensah on this matter. You will come back to Parliament. In fact, and that debate found expression in Ace Ankuma's book, and that's how I became free with Ace Ankuma. So you come back to Parliament to amend it at tremendous cost to government.
And it happened.
Just insert at least secondary education shall at least
be
3 years.
And they came to pass.
It came to pass. And they came back to Parliament to amend it. And then when NDC, they put 4 years. When the NDC came, we came back. The party came back, government came back to Parliament to amend it to 3 years.
On the marital law thing, marital rape thing, so currently what does the law say? If you're married to someone, you can rape them.
No.
It's not.
I formulated something like the requirement of consent does not extend to a marital setting or something like that.
Okay.
So,
I'm sure we can find it.
Yes.
What is the worst thing you did in Parliament?
There's no Parliament. I don't remember doing anything worse in Parliament.
What's your biggest regret of the parliaments you've served in?
I should have been working harder than before. Because this is my last day in Parliament. I've actually been able to master the act of lawmaking and to read internal consistencies and inconsistencies in the bill, to be able to project and see whether or not, if a provision of this nature is passed, it will impact on other existing legislation. And does that provision capture the real intent of government? And all those things, yes.
Which law passed by the House of which you were in do you consider the biggest regret?
Vigilantism.
The law on vigilantism?
Yes.
You thought it shouldn't have gone through?
No, I thought that the energy that we spent, when the bill on vigilantism and other offences came to to Parliament, it lacked conceptual clarity. The government did not know what they were doing. The vigilantism was not properly defined. The ambit of the law was not known. The law itself was at large. Okay, the memorandum to the bill did not address the issue or provide any insight into what government wanted to do. We in Parliament worked on the bill, worked on it with Chief Mensah Bonsu, with a lot of colleagues. We redrafted the memorandum to the bill. We virtually took control of the bill because we thought that vigilantism must end. Parliament was showing its commitment to ensuring that this canker is stopped. We increased the sentencing regime and the penalties.
But
we identified groups. We roped in chiefs. We roped in political actors. We roped in party.
But it was all thrown away.
No, it's not being acted upon.
If you had your way, that law should not have gone through.
That law, if I had my way, that's my regret. My regret is that we've spent a lot of time and effort. We organized a stakeholders conference here.
Let me understand, is your regret that the law went through, or is your regret that the law went through but it's not being...
The law went through, but it's not being implemented.
So that's your biggest... So it's not that you regret that you passed that
law.
No, that's
my biggest.
You are happy you passed the law, but it's not being implemented.
It's not being implemented.
This is Face to Face on City TV. My guest is Alhaji Inusah Fuseni. When we come back in the final laps, I'll ask him what is his biggest regret representing the people of Tamale Central, and what's his biggest achievement. Don't go away.
Hi, my name is Salamatu. Yes, these are both me. You see, before free SHS, my life could have taken two very different paths. The SHS path depended on how much money my parents had, what sacrifices they were willing to make, and whether they would send me or my little brother Issa to SHS. The other part is what would have become of me if there was no free SHS. But today, thanks to free SHS, my future is bright and promising.
Congratulations, you have an A. He's a boy.
Instead of depending on others, I will stand on my own feet and help my family. Free SHS is where my dreams for a better future and the dreams of thousands of young girls become a reality. Don't let NDC take it away from us. Vote for NPP and give all Ghanaian girls a chance for a better future.
On the 7th of December, you will be going to the polls to elect a member of parliament. How well do you know your constituency?
We take a visit to the Awutu Senya East constituency of the Central region. We are coming to you from the Ishayaso constituency in the Ashanti region. I'm still in the Aswase constituency.
Political parties will be campaigning for your vote.
We have done almost about 80 to 90 different projects across the constituency.
There is no single school under any electoral area that has not seen the development of Honorable Muntaka.
But as a constituent, what will inform your choice of a candidate to represent you in parliament?
My party is my community. What program are you bringing in to solve my problem of my community?
Be involved in what concerns you. My name is Fremedu Nyame. Join me on the constituency for all you need to know concerning your socio-economic development. The constituency airs on City TV Mondays to Thursdays.
You're welcome back to Face to Face. Now, why have you decided to leave Parliament?
Well, 2006 when I went to Parliament, persons who have come of age and are now on the register were probably just 4 years old. And now they are registered voters. It means a generational change. Been in Parliament for more than 10 years. 10 years is enough to turn the wheels of the F. It's a shift, a decade. Now, it's important that when you occupy public position or any other position which is not hereditary, you take account of generational changes and make sure you create opportunities for people who will come after you. It's very, very important. And I say that in the last election in 2016, clearly, I needed no one to tell me that it was time for me to move on.
The ground was not looking good?
No, not the ground. I had won the election by close to 90,000 votes difference between myself and the NPP. It's not about 19,000 votes difference. It's not about that.
But it was reduced.
Those who contested, it was not reduced. Those who contested me were all far younger than me.
So you're not leaving the house because you thought that if you went again you would lose?
No.
Or your vote will reduce?
No.
You just thought that you have served?
No. I've served, and then I could see that clearly. I mean, all those who contested me were younger.
What about those who say that the longer you serve in Parliament, the more experience you have?
It's true, but that's the, what is it? The paradox of the situation. Yes, the longer you serve, obviously in Parliament, when I get up to speak, the Speaker will recognize me. And this Speaker particularly has been very kind to me in recognizing me. My colleagues sometimes defer to me on matters of procedure in the House because I've kept long.
So why denying the House that opportunity?
But you can also deny the large segment of people in Tamale who want to represent, who are bringing something new and fresh.
You have several other MPs in the House who've served way longer than you.
They're not like me. That makes us different. I don't have hair. Some do. Older than me, but they still have hair.
You don't have hair?
They don't have hair.
You don't
want
have
me to show you?
Can I see?
I don't have hair, you see?
Oh.
But there are others who are older than me with hair. So, yes, we're different. I'm the only Inusah in Parliament. We're different. But I simply came to the conclusion that after serving my people for close to 15 years, it was time to move on, not to seek competitive legislative elections. I know it's difficult. I mean, every day that we go for committee meetings, especially in lawmaking, my colleagues lament the fact that I will not be in the next parliament. But that is not to say that the incoming parliament will not breed or, invest in building the capacity of someone or more people in parliament to be like me or better than me.
Do you have an advice for other MPs who may want to stay?
You just stay away.
Yeah.
If you want to stay away, just take a decision. You see, I told you when you interviewed me on radio that life is like a book. If you continue rereading the last chapter of the book, you are not going to turn onto the next chapter. So you have to make a conscious decision to finish the last chapter of the book before you can transit onto the next chapter. That's how life is. That decision is your decision.
What is the next chapter for Inusah Fuseni?
The next chapter is how to make myself useful and responsible citizen of this country.
You're going to continue to practice law?
I'm going to continue to practice law. I've gone into farming. I'm going to feed the nation. And I'm going to help John Dramani Mahama after the 2020 elections when he becomes president. You
would serve in his government if he
gives you No. In any role that he gives me, I'm going to... My duty is to help him succeed.
If he gives you minister, you would like it?
Well, I don't think that ministerial position is the only capacity in which you can.
But if it gives you, which position, ministerial position, do you think you would enjoy?
No, I'm not even talking about ministerial position.
I know.
Even as a common man on the street, former MP, former minister, I still have capacity to help John Dramani Mahama succeed as president when he wins election 2020. So it's important for us to understand.
Name 3 things, tangibles, that you have lived for the people of Tamale Central that excites you.
We have added more classrooms to schools in Tamale Central than any other MP who has come before me. Any other MP who has come before me.
Only one came before you, and he served a year and a half.
Yeah, as Tamale Central.
Yes.
So I'm talking about even combined.
Old constituencies.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I've done roads in Tamale Central that no MP has ever done.
Because no MP has a minister for roads before you. Only you were.
Well, I started doing roads even before I became minister because it was just a felt need of the people. You never understand the importance of roads until you see a pregnant woman being carried on the back of, being carried on the truck, pushed to the road in order to enable the pregnant woman enter a taxi or a car for hospital. Because there were some areas in Tamale that a vehicle could not just enter.
What's the third thing that excites you?
Oh, the third thing that excites me is that I have been able to serve my people to the extent that up to now, people in Tamale still look to me for leadership and direction. I think that is a vote of confidence in me, and that excites me.
3 things you regret.
Well, I don't have many regrets. Actually, I don't have many regrets. Maybe I should have been able to do more. I should have realized my potential long before now. That look, I could be a good drafter of the law. I should have seen that many other things, many other people in Tamale Central could have been lifted up through my involvement in their lives. But well, you can only do so much.
On January 7, 2021, there will be new MPs. You will not be there.
Yes.
There will be old ones returning, but there will be some new ones coming in afresh. Speak to them about what they should, do, what they should not do.
Well, Parliament is a very interesting place. There's work for everybody. You just need to select something that you think you can invest your time and energy in. If you want to be the champion of or a master of the standing orders of Parliament, an MP before you has done that. He was not a great educator, That is to say, he did not go to all the big schools in Ghana, but he was recognized once upon a time as the master of the standard orders of parliament. I mean, if you want to be the expert in finance...
Who are you referring to?
Oh, I won't mention names, but if you want to...
Okay.
I mean, you might know the person because you were that time a correspondent from parliament.
No, I know the person. I'll tell you want to share with our viewers.
Yes.
Okay.
No, so you want to be somebody who takes finance issues seriously. You can just master that.
Should MPs...
You want to take corruption matters seriously. You can just master that. And then anytime there is something on corruption,
they'll come to you.
Everybody's looking for you.
Should MPs serve as ministers?
Yes, it's a constitutional injunct.
If you had your way, speaking as a true member of parliament, would you rather there's true separation of powers?
I'd rather there's true separation of powers. That's why I regret that President Nana Akufo-Addo has not given much care and attention to the constitutional review, the report of the Constitutional Review Commission that submitted so many amendments to the constitution to move it from a political constitution to a developmental constitution. Because in that proposal, it was said that the present arrangement weakens parliament, and there was a need to bring back the authority of parliament by way of giving the president the hand to appoint persons outside parliament.
And the autonomy of parliament.
So
Alhaji Inusah Fuseni, member of parliament outgoing, Tamale Central, former minister. Thank you for speaking to us on Facebook. And we wish you all the best and congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
So that has been my guest today. He is voluntarily leaving parliament. Some are struggling and spending so much to come to parliament. Of course, here on Face to Face, we speak to everybody. And tonight, we've heard from Alhaji Inusah Fuseni. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. We'll be back next week for another exciting episode as we count down to election 2020. The US has voted today.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363.